Hello and welcome to this besmartaboutart.com Art World Today webinar. We're a social enterprise with a mission to empower and inform individuals who run or manage creative enterprise, resulting in the profitable unity of creative and professional practice. Our motto is art is your life, make it your living. My name is Susan Mumford. I'm the founder of besmartaboutart, and today I'm your moderator for this webinar recap. Delighted to welcome our guest speaker, Francesca Geens of Digital Dragonfly. She's known as the Tech Ninja. Welcome, Francesca.
Hi, Susan.
It's really great to have you. I know that you really help people who are freelancers, consultants, sole traders, home workers, mompreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners. When it comes to your tech setup, running your little business, in the art world, believe me, Francesca has seen it all before and knows the best way to get your technology to work for you. Her promise is to help you work better and to give you confidence in technology that you use to run your business, saving time, saving money, and being more productive. Her aim in this webinar recap is to address a couple of the most common frustrations experienced by art professionals today. Francesca, in just a few words, why do you do what you do?
It's a great question. Well, I set up the business 5 years ago at a time when a lot of people were being made redundant and setting up on their own for the first time. And also at a time where technology was driving a whole change in the way we work, in that it was becoming possible for people to run businesses from home and be very mobile in that respect. And so there was this great rise of the knowledge worker, the consultant who could run their small limited company or be a freelancer from their back bedroom. And these people have really specific IT needs. A lot of them have come from corporates before, so they know what's good, but they've never had to do it themselves. And they used to have a help desk. So I wanted to set up a business that just catered for these solo business owners and made them feel like they were my perfect client, as opposed to being a tiny client for a normal IT company. So that was 5 years ago, and yeah, haven't looked back.
And the rest is history, as they say. So a couple of really important questions that people have got for the challenges they face today. One is, why does email often not work effectively across devices? For instance, on the smartphone and the tablet. This being very important for artists and dealers and other people in the art world who are on the move with exhibitions and meeting clients.
Yeah, email not syncing is probably high on a lot of people's list, and a lot of people will be using kind of pop email, unfortunately still, which is not great if you're checking it across a variety of devices, because the email can go to the device, but it can't then update the server to tell your other devices what you've been sending or deleting. And so I have come across clients recently who had 3 devices, and they would tidy up their inboxes 3 times every day. And so you can imagine the amount of time being spent doing something that's just unnecessary. So having a good email set up, something cloud-based, using services like Office 365, which offers Exchange, or Google Apps, very similar cloud-based setup, will allow the data to sync across all your devices in a reliable way, so that you can access it from anywhere without worrying about server settings, and knowing that your data is backed up and available in the cloud, yeah, ready for you to access in whichever way you need.
And I've got another question for you that I don't actually think people think about quite enough, and that is, what are the challenges faced by working on old or out-of-date hardware and software? By hardware, what I mean is that physical device, you know, the tablet, the computer. And by software, I mean the various apps that we use on a day-to-day basis, such as perhaps Microsoft Word, Photoshop, even actually perhaps a website solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when it comes to hardware, probably your biggest problem is that it's maybe really, really slow, and there's no problem with running a computer into the ground as long as you're aware that it can and will fail at some point. And so having good backup is important. But obviously, if you are on an old computer and it is slow, there's nothing more frustrating than having to wait 15 minutes for it to boot up and for everything just grinding through, because it's old spec, and so it can't keep up with, you know, the demands you're putting on it now. So if you are on a very old machine, investing in a new one is going to make a huge difference to your productivity and the way you feel about your work. And turning on the computer. When it comes to old software, I think this is one where people are actually probably not aware of the potential problematic consequences. So you might think there's nothing wrong with being on an old version of Windows or Mac OS or old software. But the problem with not running updates, patches, upgrades, doing the maintenance is that you end up making yourself very vulnerable to hackers who are forever trying to exploit and find ways in. And that's what the patches and the updates are there to fix. So you're actually exposing yourself, your business, your client data in that way without realizing it. So it's very important to stay up to date with any upgrade for any software that you use. Now, the nice thing about a lot of the online services that we're all using these days is that that type of software update is a thing of the past, which is really, really good. But a lot of us are still using things like Office, or obviously your operating system. You know, there's patches for that. It is important to stay up to date. And actually, what the biggest change that's happened recently is that a lot of the software, like the Office software, is now available on a subscription basis, which means that with your subscription, you get upgrade rights to like the latest version, which is good because it means you have no excuse but to, you know, stay up to date, whereas in the past I kept seeing people, you know, invest a lot in their version of Office and then they'd want to use it for as long as possible to avoid the cost of having to buy it again, and that ended up with all sorts of problems. So it's all changed for the good, but you do need to do the maintenance and stay on top of things.
And as I said in the full version of this webinar, I mean, take, for example, the art dealer. He was using what is actually a subscription version of a website. When she canceled the subscription and continued using the old version, it ended up opening itself up to hackery because they didn't have all the security up to date, and it was a complete disaster, unfortunately, for them, and cost them a lot of money, a lot of time, and many months of not actually having a website. So if they just simply kept up with a small subscription service, it would have all been tickety-boo, and they would have been happy with their website and making more sales, of course. Now I've got a final question before we wrap up, and that is, with so much to do, how can people make a start in updating systems, and how do you possibly know which tools are right for you?
Yeah, it's a good one. People often feel really overwhelmed when they decide it's time to sort out their systems. They don't know where to start. I'd say, as with anything, it is important to get advice so that somebody can help you through finding what's relevant for you. From my experience, the kind of top 3 things that really need to be sorted, and the one that you might put at the top of the list is normally not the first one to do. So a lot of people will say, oh, I'll just go and buy a new computer. And it's great to have a new computer, but if you have crappy email and no backup, you're actually in no better a place. So sorting out backup, having a really good email system, and a decent spec computer are probably the 3 areas you'd want to focus in on first. And then, yeah, you can end up spending a whole lot of time finding the right tools for you. There's so much on the market these days. So again, I think it is worth taking advice. And once you whittle it down to some sort of short list, you know, test it, check out the interface, understand the pricing, see how it integrates with other tools, test out the customer service before you make your choice.
Great. I mean, that all sounds great, and as simple as it might seem, I think what people have to do is take action and remember, investing that time to set up their systems properly, to check that they are actually reliable, as you were saying in the full version of the webinar as well. Yeah, check in with customer service. Make certain, if you're going to use a new app, that they actually are really helpful and responsive. Now, Francesca, what I want to know from you now is, with technology ever evolving, how can the audience, people who are watching this webinar now, learn more from you straight away and also keep up to date with technological developments in the months and the years to come?
You go to my website at digitaldragonfly.co.uk and sign up for my weekly tech tips. It's a very short newsletter with really relevant bits of advice and new tools and ways of working. So check that out.
Great. And I know that the newsletter is an award-winning one. It's very interesting. It's captivating, fun, informative. So everyone, like me, sign up to that straight away and start learning from Francesca. You can also follow her on Twitter at F4Francesca_Dragonfly. And I'm happy to say that Francesca offers a great program with Tech Ninja. It's a 12-month program offered by Digital Dragonfly For people who are Be Smart About Art members, you get a special offer from time to time whenever they're available, but it's a great deal regardless. And Francesca, how does the Tech Ninja program work?
It's a 12-month program, and basically we start off by doing an IT audit to really understand tools you have, how you're working, what's not right, what needs to be fixed, how you want to work in your business, and then we come up with an action list and kind of get going. We work one-to-one, and as well as being proactive and getting you set up with the right tools, we're there for the ongoing maintenance, these updates. We're there for the troubleshooting and for further strategic advice as well.
Fabulous. And yourself as a small business owner, understand the needs of small business owners. And I've seen you save the businesses of some art dealers and artists who I know now. Francesca, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing everyone again soon on besmartaboutart.com. And Francesca, I will bid you adieu. Thanks for coming on.
You're very welcome. Bye.
Signing out from London. Ciao for now.